Hello everyone, we have a special report here from Answers from the Universe, and breaking news, unbelievable, the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is on fire, and this seems to tie in very much with a lot of the stuff that's been going on regarding the yellow vests and the black blocs. So we're not really sure. I haven't gotten a confirmation yet from Chris as to who could potentially be behind this, but I'm looking at the breaking news right now, and it looks like it's really on fire, and there's billowing smoke. It's unfortunate that all of this stuff has to happen. I feel for the people over there. This is clearly one of their iconic cathedrals, something that's been their signature of Paris. On the other hand, we all understand the horrible things, the crimes that have been committed by the Roman Catholic Church and anything related to that. And so, just observing it, there's mixed feelings. There's feelings for the people, seeing that this is maybe the beginning or the end of something that's very important but pivotal. I think it makes a very big statement about the institutions of religion and their impact and influence over politics. And so much more can be said about it. I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots of comments, talking about this subject going forward. We're going to provide the link so you can watch it live. But I will do an update with the yellow vests and to see, what the outcome is and what's going on. I know that they still have record amounts of people out there, and of course the mainstream news is not saying how many are out there, but as you see on YouTube, those large crowds are still, have been gathering. The protests this weekend looked very peaceful, and they were just kind of, holding up flags and just walking, and it didn't look like a whole lot. But then again, I wasn't there physically, so it's hard for me to really gauge, other than to see what the alternative news is showing. So, but this is a very grand statement. I'm sure this is a grand statement to the EU as well, for them to consider and think about this, because this is now crossing over into the area of the Roman Catholic Church and what it stands for, and also possibly the comment of this was the location of where Napoleon, declared his kinghood, his godhood, and so forth. Was this the location that Macron was hoping to be in to declare his power and stance as the ruler, the king, and the God King of France? So, this I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what the people say, because I can give my own opinion, but I think the French people have their own views. This will be an impact on Europe, possibly Brexit, and some other things that are going on around, and of course the U.S. will be very much impacted by it, maybe even the world. I also want to say that there was a huge amount of people protesting in Serbia as well this weekend. So whatever is going on, it's in the air. People are waking up to the truth of being backed against the wall, not really feeling like they have much more of an option but to take to the streets and ask, suggest that they want a presence, they want sovereignty, they want to be able to have living wages and not have to go through these hardships and burdens for themselves and their families. So that's the first part of the news. I do still have some other updates that I've been putting off, not intentionally, but here's a little bit of a glimpse of what's been going on around the world. Recently, one of my friends contacted me from South Africa, and she said that people are really acting a little strange regarding thievery, and she said recently someone stole the cables, some of their copper cables, in order to sell them, because things are getting a little tight over there. She said that there is an interesting month. They're doing something called load shedding. The government-owned energy company, ESCOM, ESKOM, has informed us that we do not have enough coal to sustain the energy needs of the country. So in order to save or reserve energy, the electricity is turned off for 2 hours at a time on a rotating schedule. This is happening in the middle of a workday. Suddenly, the malls will go dark, shops will lock their doors, the trade will stop for 2 hours. We are a first, third world country, so this practice is very destructive to our productivity. Things have returned to normal for a moment, but the rating agency, or called Moody's, Moodys, was on the verge of downgrading our country's economy to junk status. But with the elections pending in the middle of April, our president in the African National Congress Party has ensured that the lights will stay on for a little bit longer. That doesn't sound like this is progressive, but actually regressive, in my opinion. And so that is also an issue that probably I thought people might want to know about. Another news that I wasn't able to bring to you yet, but I feel more comfortable talking about it on March 30th. There was a post on Facebook regarding a train loaded with tanks headed through the Sierras in California, Portola, California. And I have some pictures. I'm going to see if I can try to post those. I heard something about Clementine. I asked her if there was anything regarding Clementine, and I asked if the first big stop is in Reno, I guess, and they look at the train map for possibilities. So from Reno, that track goes to either Salt Lake City or Denver or Portland, Seattle. I asked if there was any military operations underway, and she said, so I don't know what they were leveraging for, and I did hear something about Lake Clementine, and I didn't even know there was a Clementine there, so I took a look there. She says Lake Clementine is in Auburn, California, about an hour north of Sacramento, and yes, it is on the path of the railroad. Travis Air Force Base and Beale Air Force Base are within an hour of that area. So this is information that came to me on March 31st, so I apologize that it took a while to get the information out, but I also feel like if there was something that the U.S. government was doing, I don't know, it didn't feel right to provide the information just yet. So a friend of mine, we're going to shift to another part of the world. Another friend of mine who is travels because of the type of work that he does, who shared some information regarding his most recent visit to China. And he said, I'm currently in China. He said, within the past 2 years since the last time I was here, surveillance has gone off the roof. Now, after arriving in Shanghai airport, every foreigner has to scan his fingerprints of all 10 fingers at a self-service machine. The years before, they only checked if the fingerprints match with those in the passport. In the immigration hall, where your passport gets checked, are 2 360-degree cameras per meter mounted on the ceiling. All you see there is cameras. It's scary what has happened in a couple of years. So I agree. You know, they're amping up surveillance. They're doing a lot of things. It's sort of happening very subtle, but if you blink your eyes, you're going to miss something. I think that's the best way to look at it. Another unexplained event, and the strangeness of California, going back to California, is there's a whole bunch of horses that have been killed. They're saying that it's normal, but I think they're up to, I don't know if there's 23, 24 horses at the horse races. 2 days after racing resumed, 23rd horse dies at Santa Anita Park in California. Santa Anita Park, the horses just died on the track, the 23rd horse, since late December. And it looks like they had closed the park for a brief period of time. It's kind of a strange story. We know that humans are sometimes missing, or things are happening to humans. Well, things are happening to animals as well. So I guess this is during the San Simeon Stakes, interesting name. And yeah, so 21 horses died at a single racetrack in the last 10 weeks. How did it happen? People are trying to figure this out. And it's almost as if like no one's really doing anything about it. Cruelty to animals, that's for sure. All right, so getting back to the breaking news of Notre Dame, the spire has fallen, parts of the roof have collapsed in a huge fire on Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. So it's the fire is continuing to burn, and it doesn't look like they're probably going to be able to preserve it or save it at this point. I have one last piece of information. This is also something regarding Area 51. There was a Russian spy plane reportedly seen flying over Area 51. A Tupolev Tu-154 plane of the Rossiya Special Flight Detachment. A Russian surveillance plane recently flew over several American military bases, including Area 51, perhaps America's most secretive military site. And this is what they're saying in the article. I'm going to post all of these articles. The plane was spotted over California. This is March 28th. And news of the flight mission, which occurred over the treaty on open skies and took place on March 28th, was reported by The Drive, which is the name of the article. Under the agreement, which was first proposed by President Dwight Eisenhower in July 1955 and ultimately signed in 1992, the treaty permits each state party to conduct short notice, unarmed reconnaissance flights over others' entire territories to collect data on military forces and activity. The treaty is aimed at building confidence and familiarity of state parties and so forth. There are 34 members of the treaty, including the U.S., the Russian Federation, and Germany. Notably, China is not a member. And they're supposed to have at least 72 hours advance notice. I'm not sure if they did it that way. The plane's transponder shows that it flew over Sacramento as well as other military sites on the West Coast, including Edwards Air Force Base, Coronado Island, Camp Pendleton, and Nevada's test site known as Area 51. And CBS reported that, ending year of speculation in 2013, the U.S. government finally acknowledged the existence of the secretive Area 51 after a series of declassified documents were released. So it was an interesting article. We got activity going on in California, and we have activity clearly going on in France, Serbia, China, and South Africa. I'm going to post all, we're going to link all of these articles so you can review them yourself and some pictures or whatever I can get on there. Thank you very much for listening.